All right, Toby. What? 2 more nights, right?
That's
more
right.
nights.
Yep, 2 more nights.
Okay, so 2 nights. This is it, folks. This is really, really the home stretch here of Reggie's Sleepout at home, which is what we're talking about. Hey, people, get on board with this. This is so awesome. I actually heard some comments. I was reading through some comments just actually last night.
Okay.
From the video feed, and people were talking about, oh, I wish this was in my state. I wish this was happening, and that, Toby, I hope you realize how awesome. I know you know how awesome this is.
Yeah, I'm excited about this format. I think it's pretty cool. It just reduces barriers where pretty much anyone can participate.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, everybody can be a part of Reggie's Sleepout at home this year. No matter who you are, what walk of life you're in, everybody can be a part of this. So if you're tuning in right now, we are live at 7 p.m. this Saturday night, September, gracious, now I'm quizzing myself, September 12th.
That's right.
We are. And I have Toby O'Berry with me, our IHYC director, and that stands for the Iowa Homeless Youth Center here in Iowa, which we have different locations. 612 is a location that I know a lot of folks are familiar with here in Des Moines. And just a real recap, I mean, to just hit on this, we've got homeless youth here in Iowa, right, Toby?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and when we're talking homeless youth, I mean, alone at 612, just one location, how many youth do you serve every single year?
Just through the 612 location, it's roughly 400 youth.
Wow. So 400 youth. And last night we were talking that in just one school district, which is the largest school district in Iowa, but here in Des Moines, one school district, 1,500 youth are identified as at risk or homeless. So we're not talking here about statistics that don't apply to Iowa or don't apply. And I think a lot of people don't realize how serious of an issue homelessness is with our youth.
And we really serve youth across all the school districts. So we have youth that are from the Johnston schools, Valley High School, Waukee High School. Homelessness crosses all socioeconomic barriers. So it's not just a low-income situation. It's a situation that can affect anyone.
Yeah, and you see it every single day in your role and your position with all the staff with IHYC. So big shout out to IHYC and for everything that you all do. We're talking Reggie's Sleepout at Home. This is an event that happens once a year, typically an in-person event. I believe in the past it's been done at Drake Stadium. Is that correct?
That's right.
And also even ISU, right?
Yep. A couple of years we've done it in Ames as well. Yep.
So yeah, an in-person event, which I've been a part of. It's been awesome, where everybody comes around, builds, cardboard boxes. Some come in tents. Just a really, really creative means. I've been a part of concerts before, all to raise kind of a two-part thing here, raise awareness and raise funds, and all in ultimate honor of kind of the gentleman who started this, which is Reggie Kelsey. Is that correct?
Yep. A young man who aged out of the foster care system, was found deceased by the side of the Des Moines River. And we started Reggie Sleepout to remember and honor Reggie Kelsey, and hope that other youth wouldn't go through what he experienced.
Wow. So and this event here has the potential to impact so many folks, so many homeless youth. We just talked last night, and you'll have to help me with the name again. Nate.
Yep. Nate Lentz.
Lentz, yeah, and Nate was from help me out, Nationwide, correct? Yep. And wow, I mean, nationwide, how they partner with Reggie's Sleepout. And he talked about the impact that it just had on him personally and his family, just being a part of this. And folks, if you're listening to this and you can still jump on board, be a part of it. Of course, this is an annual event, so it'll happen next year too. But the impact that this has with your family is absolutely wonderful. But then the impact that it has by raising the money to help Iowa Homeless Youth Center and all of the locations, you can't put in words. The impact is just incredible. Mm-hmm. So, Toby, talk about the impact of, let's say, $500.
Yeah, so when we're looking at kind of that impact of a team fundraising at Reggie Sleepout, $500 would allow 7 youth who move into our rapid rehousing program. So that's where we provide rental assistance for 12 months. And they sign a lease with a landlord. The lease is in the youth's name. So you think a youth is going to be homeless and then signing a 12-month lease in their own apartment, in their own home, having a home. What do they need? Furniture. So they have no furnishings. They have nothing really with them. And so $500 will provide all of the furnishings for 7 different youth apartments at our agency. Is the first impact that we're going to share. The second impact at the $500 level would provide 360 meals for the youth in our meal program at 612. There's a picture of some of our participants and volunteers and kind of a shot into the kitchen area. But that $500 would provide 360 meals, which is an amazing number. And so that's significant impact that we have youth every day, 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, where they're hungry and they need some food. And that $500 impact would provide that 360 meals. Then our third impact that we're going to highlight, still at our 612 location, is our emergency bed program. So $500 would support 5 nights of shelter for 2 different youth in our emergency bed program. So we provide emergency shelter to roughly 100 youth a year that come through 612. And this $500 would provide 5 nights of safe housing for 2 different youth.
Wow. So I don't even know where to start there. I mean, be it providing food, be it providing furniture, it's incredible the amount that how much $500 can do. And I can, I think I've shared a little bit about this before, that I was raised in foster care.
Yep.
And I'll never forget the first kitchen table that I got. I was at actually Central College. My shirt right here, Central College. And I was living I decided not to live in the dorms, and I was living off of campus, and I had no furniture whatsoever. And it happened to be a boss of mine at the time. She had an old kitchen table she wasn't using and gave it to me. And that was my first piece of furniture. And I remember that because that was mine. And that was something that I was so proud of. And I had the resources. I had the folks around me to ask for that. I can only imagine some of these youth probably don't have those resources or people to ask. Am I right, Toby?
Yeah. Yep. So they have limited options. And so that furniture is kind of one barrier that we try to break down so that they can be self-sufficient. And it's a big deal to, like you say, to have furnishing, to have a bed, even like we talked the other night, to have your own mailing address. And so one youth, I remember, he's got his little key to his mailbox, and he's like, man, this is the first mailing address I've ever had. So just some of those simple things that our agency provides can really change lives.
Simple things that we take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
That we might take for granted as adults and being as blessed as we are, but $500 right there, you just heard what it can do. And $100 can do a lot, 300, 400, 500, but wow. I mean, meals, 360 days of meals that $500 can do. So, hey, if you're tuning in right now, we are live on Facebook. Let me ask you to do something. Let us know that you're here. There's a comment box there and make a comment. Ask a question to Toby O'Berry, the expert know-all of everything right here. Sorry, I had to. You know, anytime. That's what I'm here for. So ask a question, make a comment, let us know that you're here. Another way people have let us know that they're here and that they're being a big part of Reggie's Sleep Out at Home is to share photos. And we've been encouraging people to share photos all week, these past 10 days. We've been asking you to share photos of you sleeping out at home. Be that on a sofa, be it in a tent, be it however you want to creatively sleep out, raise awareness. And some of these photos have been pretty darn exciting and inspiring to other people. I've seen pets. I've seen, again, just some awesome ways to sleep out. So do we have a photo tonight that we want to share or?
I think we do.
Okay, so let's see this here. And what is this? I see the Reggie Sleep Out sign that everybody got who registered.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it's a mini fundraiser. Like we kind of gave that challenge last night to teams to do mini fundraisers, and it looks like this group did a garage sale.
No way. So last night we were on and we were encouraging teams or people that were involved to do a mini fundraiser. Could have been a lemonade stand, could have been, and we were saying, hey, get creative, help raise some funds through a mini fundraiser. And look at that. We have a garage sale. Oh, I wish I would have thought of that because we've got so much stuff to get rid of right now. Look at that, a refrigerator out there. And oh man, what is in that garage too? I wish I would have known about that. I don't need more stuff, but that is awesome. So, and hey, that's still, Toby, this is a creative idea that people could continue to do, correct? To raise
doesn't have to end on Sunday. It could continue on for the next couple of weeks if there's a little fundraiser and mini kind of fundraiser that you want to do. We will still accept donations through the next couple months.
Okay, so there you go. So if you're listening and you're really kind of hit by what we're talking about tonight and helping homeless youth here in Iowa, do something. Do something. Get out there, do a mini fundraiser. That garage sale, that was pretty blasted creative. That was awesome. Or a lemonade stand, or however you want to be creative. And I can only imagine the people coming to that garage sale. You could even talk to them about why you're doing this garage sale and what you're raising the money for. And I guarantee you, Toby, people could probably even jack up the prices after you talk about raising money for homeless youth, because everybody does want to find some way to support and be involved. Some people can give finances, some people can be volunteers, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit later on. So again, if you're sleeping out tonight, tomorrow night, do this for us. Post your photo with the hashtag RSO at home. That stands for Reggie's Sleep Out at Home. So just put that hashtag there, and that way we can share it and we can inspire others to do the same. You can also tag us at Reggie's Sleep Out or at IHYC DSM. And you can also just go to Reggie's Sleep Out at Home Facebook page. You can post them there too. So please post those photos, inspire others, and help celebrate with everybody here. So, okay, Toby, I also know that we have a team that we would like to highlight tonight?
Yeah, I do have a team, and it's kind of one that's dear to our agency. So it's Team Arvid and Mary Oliver. So Mary Oliver is a longtime board member of our agency, very passionate supporter, believes in the work that we do, lifting homeless youth up to be self-sufficient. And her team, she's so committed. She sends out hundreds of personal handwritten letters to donors asking them to donate to her team. And Mary and Arvid have raised over $4,700 for Reggie Sleep Out this year.
Over $4,000 this year.
Yep.
Arvid and Mary Oliver, thank you.
Almost 5,000.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that is inspiration right there. Mm-hmm. And we talked about just what $500 can do. Can you? Incredible. Thank you, Arvid and Mary Oliver. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And I hope others that are listening will take that as maybe a challenge, or find a way, again, that they can assist or that they can contribute as well. We're talking about Reggie's Sleep Out at Home here. And earlier, Toby and I were talking about the impact that money has, but also the impact that homeless youth has here in Iowa. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about just some grim statistics, of course, across the state, but just even here in Des Moines, the school district alone has I think 1,500 youth every year that are identified as at risk of homeless or homeless. The one location in Des Moines, just one location of Iowa Homeless Youth Center, serves over 400 youth every single year. This is a real issue that we're working with. And talking about kind of those statistics or those facts, boy, the people who deal with this and work with you, Toby, at IHYC, I can imagine that they've got caseloads. They've got a lot to work with. Can you talk a little bit about that as far as our Did You Know stats for the night?
Yeah, with the caseloads of our staff, it's roughly anywhere from 10 to 18 typically that one of our advocates will have that size of a caseload. But it's really important to make sure that our staff are supported as well as our youth are supported. Yeah. Because our youth go through a lot of trauma, but our staff go through a lot of secondary trauma, just learning and living kind of walking alongside our youth who've gone through so much trauma, that it's really important for us to just recognize our staff, to support them, and to make sure that our caseloads are as low as possible. Some other agencies nationally would have 20, 30, 40 youth on a caseload, and it's just really important to limit that to kind of that 10 to 18. Something under 20 is really a good kind of manageable size caseload. Some other of the Did You Know stats, we wanted to share that there are two large federal funders of homeless youth services. So there's HUD, Housing and Urban Development, and HHS, which is Health and Human Services. And so HUD and HHS have multiple federal grants. Typically, what's nice about those is they're very large, but they're also multi-year. So it gives you 3, 4, sometimes 5 years to have that security, knowing you have that funding in place. Because a lot of times some of our funds are just year to year. And so it's a little bit riskier. There's more uncertainty. And so HUD and Health and Human Services are great advocates and partners for homeless youth services nationally. And Youth and YSS and IHYC secured all of the HUD and HHS grants, which is a big deal for an agency to secure those. Then the second Did You Know is our RHY, which stands for Runaway Homeless Youth National Conference. So every year there's a national conference that funded agencies of HUD and Health and Human Services all come together in a different location. Due to COVID this past year, and it's going to be in November. It'll be a virtual conference, but they have hundreds of breakout sessions and networking with different providers that are doing the same work that we're doing. You're supposed to bring at minimum 1 staff. Typically, we have 5 to 7 staff go to these conferences because it's really important to be on top of your game when you're working with youth, because it's ever evolving, and it's important for our staff to get those trainings and go to that national conference. And we as an agency value that piece. So that RHY National Conference is really important. And then that third component that I wanted to share in the Did You Know, just talking about Des Moines and the Polk County Continuum of Care Board last year secured a $1.8 million grant to support ending youth homelessness in Polk County. And our agency has played a strong leadership role in securing that grant and also kind of planning what these programs are going to do to utilize that 1.8 million. So we have 2 projects in Des Moines. We're going to be expanding our 612 drop-in center. So currently it's Monday to Friday, and we're going to now operate all 7 days, full-time, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to hire more mental health therapists, and we're going to just have more services for youth, behavioral health intervention services as well, which is it's called BHIS. Is one grant that our agency was awarded with some of that 1.8 million. And then the second is a rapid rehousing, which we talked about a little bit with the furniture. But with this rapid rehousing program, youth are going to be able to stay in their apartment for up to 2 years. So even longer, because HUD and HHS know that youth need a little bit more time to get back on their feet. And so this rapid rehousing project will be hiring for both of these projects anywhere from 5 to 6 different new staff, full-time staff. And these grants are 2-year grants. So we're excited about what's happening in Des Moines and in Polk County. But great things are happening in Iowa in support of all homeless youth here in Iowa.
And I love that. I love the fact that it's giving time, like 2 years, that youth know that they'll be able to stay, and that the security that can provide just mentally to somebody, and then they can focus on getting jobs, they can focus on getting education, and they don't have to be worrying about necessarily surviving, if you will. I mean, I've been there, done that. Absolutely awesome. I did not know about that.
Both of those grants should be happening this fall. So potentially October, November of this year, we'll be ramping those programs up.
Anybody who wants to get involved with anything that we're talking about, it's really simple. You can go to reggiesleepout.org, find out more information. You can also go to www.yss.org, and you can find out how to get involved in this. I know not everybody can financially contribute, but you can get involved. Everybody can find some way to help out, because it really does take a village. It takes an effort. And I know, Toby, whenever you have me on here kind of helping out hosting, we go way long and we just chat and we talk. But I gotta also ask
fine with me.
What'd you say?
That's fine with me, Rusty.
Okay. Wow. Okay. No clock for tonight, folks. But I do want to know this. With that caseload, the caseworkers at IHYC have, really quick, can you talk about what they do with that? So at IHYC, and they've got 15, or you say you try to keep it at 10, 15. What do they do with each youth?
So what's nice is every youth, we try to create an individualized case plan. So really it depends on what that youth would like, their goals that they would like to accomplish together with our staff. So it won't be cookie cutter where like you have to do A, B, C, D. We're going to tell you what you need to do. It's sitting down with each youth individually and saying, hey, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you want to accomplish in the next year? Let's do that together. I'll walk alongside with you and help you out. But some of those could be housing specific. Some of them could be education. Maybe someone wants to get a certificate in something, or they want to go to community college, or maybe someone wants to secure employment. So really, it just depends. And it's probably one of the first times that a youth has had someone sit down and say, hey, what do you want to accomplish? I want to help you. And so it's mind-blowing for them. Sometimes they don't know what to say. And so it ever changes too. I mean, sometimes a youth could be going down this path and they kind of pivot and we say, cool, let's accomplish that together. So it's kind of just like what a parent would do. You're just there to support them as they're walking through life.
And I am sure that throughout time, we have case manager positions open with IHYC. So if you're listening to this and that interests you and you want to be a part of that, again, you can go to www.yss.org and you could get involved in this and actually be a professional helping these youth. And that's incredible. That's a full-time job. Wow.
Yep.
I mean, I know that when I was going through foster care, I'm sure I put a lot of people in my job. Just trying to support me, which I can't express my appreciation enough for them. Yep. Every night, we also like to give kind of a education program highlight, talk about one of our education or our programs. And tonight, Toby, what are we talking about?
So tonight we're going to be talking about the Iowa Aftercare Network, our Aftercare program. So it's for youth who've aged out of foster care that we're able to provide additional support, similar to what Reggie Kelsey could have used and that wasn't available at the time of his passing, and spearheaded that program to start. YSS is the statewide contract holder of the Iowa Aftercare Network.
Okay. Through so much more in these past couple of years than I ever could have imagined.
It can be overwhelming. There's a lot of things, especially right now with the whole world going crazy.
Many of these kids that we're serving, they have a bad week or a bad month. They don't have a place to call home.
And there's a lot of kids who need that reach, who need that ability to grow.
Oftentimes, these kids are slipping through the cracks. These youth who are transitioning out of the system.
And we see a lot of negative outcomes, unfortunately. We see high rates of homelessness.
For incarceration, they're at risk for human trafficking.
We see low rates of people being able to go to school and continue with their education.
They're at risk for addiction and they're suffering from mental health issues.
Aftercare is an amazing program that really empowers you to make your own decisions and take charge of your life while also giving you support.
The 6 areas that we work in are employment, education, housing, life skills, supportive relationships, and health. The advocate is really a support, a source of referral, a source of guidance and advice, and a cheerleader for the youth as they're making their way.
And the kids that are in the program have an opportunity to help create their own plan, figure out what their own goals are, chart their own course. It builds this foundation for them to emerge into adulthood, self-sufficient, and able to pursue the things that they want out of life.
Being in foster care and in being in aftercare has made me have so much character development and so much mental growth.
And I feel much more comfortable and confident with my growth into adulthood and my transition into living on my own.
Take the whole opportunity because the tools are there. It's up to you what you want to do with them. It's up to you how you want to go from there.
These are kids that are going to create impact in their communities. These are kids that are going to be productive in their communities. These are kids that are going to go on to impact the lives of those that come after them. It's a win-win.
There you have it, the aftercare program. I mean, wow. And that impacts so many across the state, and no matter where they'll go
Yeah,
throughout the country, the
it
entire world.
really boils down to youth not having a stable support system or an adult in their life that will kind of be in their corner. And the aftercare team is that stable, safe adult that's there as they're kind of learning, transitioning into adulthood, that 18, 19, 20 kind of age range. I think we all forget what we were like as 18, 19, 20-year-olds. We had stable support systems in place. So it's just a great program. It's hats off to the state legislature for setting this up, and DHS for managing this contract, and for YSS providing this service across the entire state to any youth who've aged out of foster care. So it's so encompassing, but so needed. And other states hear about the Aftercare network, and they are jealous. Service providers say we need something like the Aftercare network in our state, and so we're very fortunate that YSS was able to advocate and get the legislative body to pass that funding and create the Iowa Aftercare network.
Wow, and we are talking a lot about impact tonight. Be it an impact of a dollar amount that can make a difference with Iowa Homeless Youth Center, the impact with aftercare services, just the impact of people getting involved. And if you want to find out more about the aftercare services, again, yss.org, best place to go. And a huge shout out to all those involved. Hey, if you're watching right now, you still have a chance to ask some questions, make some comments. We are live if you're watching at this hour here for Reggie's Sleepout at Home. And I did see a couple of comments that I want to get to here in just a bit. Before we get to that, I also want to highlight that one of the really, really cool things about the Reggie's Sleepout at Home, kind of this virtual format, is at-home activities. And these at-home activities are emailed every single day to people who have registered and taking part of Reggie's Sleepout at Home. And tonight's activity is?
So tonight's activity, to go along kind of with that aftercare advocacy theme, is we're asking people to advocate on behalf of homeless youth in your community. So it's really a chance, like this flyer said, for your voice to be heard. So you can write a letter to your local representative, post a video, kind of organize some type of event to raise awareness. Maybe it's a letter to the editor talking about how funds are needed for homeless youth. But really it's about that advocacy. So it, like you said, Rusty, it takes a village, and we need advocates in our corner, raising the awareness around youth homelessness. So something as simple as a letter to your local legislator, or a letter to the editor, or an opinion piece about youth homelessness and the services that are needed would go a long way to support the youth that we serve. I
love this. Toby, you're hitting on everything that I it's kind of my soapbox, that everybody can be involved. There is not, I don't want to be rude here, but I don't care who you are or what you do, you can be involved in making a difference with homeless youth in Iowa. So we're not only talking finances, which yes, we need the finances. And we talked about the impact that $500 can have, talked about the impact of different amounts throughout these past 8 nights. But the impact that you can do just by writing a letter, like you were talking about, or volunteering. Share these videos that we're posting right now, but also go back and watch some of them. Last night, we had an incredible video that is going to stick with me forever about Teresa.
Yep, the street outreach program.
What's that?
Yeah, the street outreach program.
Yeah, the street and the van that Teresa drives. And it's this van that goes around and ultimately meets youth where they're at, maybe even before they even get to an actual center. And Teresa talks about that and what she does. And so again, so many different ways that you can be involved to make an impact and really, really change lives, their lives, but eventually their kids' lives and their kids' lives and generations to come.
Yep.
So we have a kind of what you would say a targeted appeal for the night, if you will. And this kind of goes along with what we talked about earlier, which is sharing your photos. And we want folks to share your photos that hopefully we can also use in years to come to give maybe some inspiration, some ideas to other people about how to camp out and what to do. It's simple again, really simple. Hashtag RSO at home. Or RSO at home, and that will get it right to where we need it to go. So again, to the Reggie's Sleepout at Home. Did I get that correct? Because I kind of was fumbling over my words there.
Yep. Nope, you're right. RSO at home. And the challenge tonight is for everyone to share one photo from their participation in the event. Okay,
so right there, hashtag RSO at home. We'll get it to where it needs to go, that we can share it, that you will actually in return inspire others. And tomorrow night, when we do our live broadcast, I'm excited that we can share some more photos. So tonight, if you're sleeping out, please share those. Maybe we can do like a collage or something, and really kind of put it out there to show everybody sleeping out and what you're doing. Again, still time to participate. You want to find any of the information, you can go to reggiesleepout.org to find out more information about this. I know that we want to play another video. Is that correct, Toby?
Yep, that's right.
Now, I've asked folks if they wanted to make a question or a comment. Should we address those now? Sure.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so yeah, because I thought that was awesome. I saw a couple of things come through here. And one of the things was, Megan asked, are Francis Lauer's financial statements public? And when we're talking Francis Lauer, for folks, I know we're getting kind of nitty gritty here, but Francis Lauer, real quick, Toby, is what?
It's actually part of YSS. So Francis Lauer is our brand for YSS, located up in Mason City. So really, Francis Lauer, IHYC's financials are all YSS financials, which we file financial returns to the IRS and do our 990, which is the kind of nonprofit financial statements that we submit every year. And it's public, and you can go online and find any nonprofits, really, 990 forms, and kind of review how they spend their money, what services that they provide. The 990 is a great form for people to review different nonprofits for accountability.
Yeah, and Megan, I loved your question there, because I know that's a common question of especially people that want to give money, is you want to see how transparent and where the money is ultimately going. And absolutely very transparent with Reggie's Sleepout and with YSS. And this is another great question from Megan here. Do all funds raised go only for homeless youth shelter or just for general income? We've talked about this on past broadcasts. So Toby, hit on that one.
So all of the funds from Reggie Sleepout support homeless youth programming. So it won't go to kind of a general donation fund or some reserve account. It will only go directly back for homeless youth programming in the communities where we operate. So some of the funds, if you are sleeping out in Ames and you fundraise, your funds will stay local in your community for homeless youth services. For our Ames programming. So same as in Mason City as well. If you raise funds in Mason City, it will support our rapid rehousing homeless youth programming in Mason City. So really it's staying local, but holistically supporting homeless youth programming at YSS.
And that is awesome. I mean, if you're in your community, you're donating, it's going to stay within the programs there in the community to support the youth that I'm guessing you probably already helped raise a little bit by being neighbors, by being community members, teachers, everything like that. Wonderful. Another really important question here, Toby, that we got from Andrew Allen.
Yes.
Did Toby O'Berry cut his hair?
No, I still have the ponytail. I'm just wearing a hat today.
Okay, I love this. This is great. And of course, Kelly, we love Kelly. The YSS After Team is awesome, as is the whole Aftercare network.
Yep.
And boy, by that last video, we can see how awesome you are, and all of the dedication and all of the staff at YSS IHYC.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, truly, truly incredible people, and people who want to jump on board with this and work professionally. Go to www.yss.org and you'll find the job postings, the careers there. Look at it and see if maybe that's suited for you. And if it is, go after it. Because like we talked about, takes a village.
Yep.
Definitely takes a village. So again, the targeted appeal tonight, all people out there camping out, post a photo. As simple as hashtag RSO at home. We'll get that, and hopefully maybe even tomorrow night be able to share that. So, okay. What is the video that we're going to watch here, Toby?
I think I'm just going to let the video speak for itself, Rusty.
Oh, I'm excited. All right.
Building a relationship with the youth is kind of the key to making any headway with them. You know, a lot of these youth have just not had somebody be ever consistently positive with them. They've had adults who maybe run hot and cold with them. So to have an aftercare advocate who is just, I'm just going to be consistently positive and supportive of you, and understand with the youth, it's your life, but I want to support you in making this a good life. I want to support you in making good choices. I want to give you the information you need to make the best decision for you. Having been an advocate myself, I do occasionally still have youth, they'll find me on Facebook and message me and just say, hey, I just want you to know I got this job, or hey, I just want you to know I got married, or I'm having a baby, and thank you for helping me, and thank you for being supportive of me. And that is that's gold, That's what somebody who works in human services or social work, that is you love that stuff. to hear back from somebody years down the line saying, I'm doing great, and thank you for helping me along my way.
So I thought you'd like that one. It's really just talking about relationship building.
Yep, and there you have it. And you're right, Toby, I did like it, and that said it all. So, all right, for all of those of you who have been taking part and who will be taking part in Reggie's Sleepout at Home, a huge shout out, huge thank you to you. Toby O'Berry, our YSS HYC director, thank you. Thank you for everything you do, truly.
Of course.
And for all of the staff who make all of this possible, thank you. My name is Rusty Johnson, a YSS prevention specialist. And again, please make sure you're sharing your photos tonight and tomorrow night of you sleeping out to raise awareness and funds for homeless youth here in Iowa. Just put the hashtag RSO at home. And again, big shout out to everybody involved in this and to everybody who's making this all possible. So thank you so much, and you all have a good night.
My
My mom, Colleen Conrad, wrote Reggie's Place, and I'm Carly Conrad, and I'm her daughter.
Good evening, my name is Colleen Conrad, and I am at home, Reggie's Place 2020 style. And I'm here to tell you about the book Reggie's Place. It's a children's book that was written a few years ago to inspire and educate the public and kids on what it's like to be homeless. At the time, my daughter Cameron, 5, had a lot of questions about homelessness, and so we were trying to think of a way to tell Reggie's story through a book, since I have volunteered there for about 11 years. And so we had her be the narrator for the book, and so she will read a little bit about the book to tell you Reggie's story.
I'm Cameron Conrad. I'm 14 years old. I am technically the narrator for this book from when I was 5. And yeah, there's 5-year-old me. My mom is a volunteer at Reggie's Place. She said it's a place where homeless youth can get help when they need it. At Reggie's Place, Mom helps those who are less fortunate than we are. I asked her who homeless youth are. She said they are kids, teenagers, and young adults who do not have a home to live in or parents to take care of them. She does this as much as she can when she's not taking care of my little sister. I asked Mom how she helps these homeless youth. She said by showing them she cares about their health and happiness. She said she wants these kids to know there are people who do care about them and want to help them have a good life. I'm glad my mom is doing this. All kids should have people who love and care for them. This is a picture I drew when I was 5 of Reggie and his family, and my cat Nick, who had passed away at the time, was there too. And this is a picture that Reggie drew that somebody gave my mom. And there's other pictures that he's drawn, and him just imagining what it would be like to have a family and a home.
Reggie just wanted to find his place in the world. More than anything, Reggie wanted a family.
Carly, so when you read the book and learned about Reggie's story, what did you think?
I felt really sad because I just felt really bad for all those people that have to go through without having a family and all their support. And I'm so thankful for my family. And I just couldn't imagine what it would be like without them.
Cameron, what can you tell me about what you're thankful for as of having a home?
Honestly, just everything at this point. I mean, the list goes on. Sad. Couldn't imagine not having that. Having good education, just having people that care about me.
Mm-hmm. What do you think Reggie wanted most in the world?
Family, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, family.
Under the stars so kids can reach them. Please join us in raising money for this year's Reggie Sleepout 2020 from home.